What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Ben gaming video. I hope you guys are having an awesome day as always. Now, today we're going to be talking about PlayStation 5 Pro again, because I did do a video on this fairly recently and I got some feedback from people saying this device is absolutely pointless. There's no point in having this device. So I want to give my opinions on this and also talk about some features as to why I think this thing is very, very needed, and the performance improvements are not going to be as minor as you guys think due to this one piece of technology that will carry this device much further than just a tiny spec bump that it actually has. So we all know that this thing is not going to be completely game changing and it's not going to be a huge spec boost over PS5. But yes, the GPU is going to be better. It's going to be, I think the 14 teraflop rumor is where we're at the moment with this device, but that's not what's important. What is important is right now a lot of games on PS5 are running barely at 1440p 60, and then they have the 4K 30 mode, right? And a lot of those modes, like the 60 FPS 1440p mode, are upscaled heavily from 720p, or lower sometimes actually. It's been pretty bad in certain titles. So the extra little bit of power will first of all bring that base resolution up, something like, I don't know, 1080p or 1200p at 60 FPS. Now, you might think, well, that's not a huge amount better. Well, just give me a second. What is going to make things significantly better for even the 4K mode is that, have you seen in certain games like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, you have this 40 FPS mode, or you have a 60 FPS mode. Now, there's this little piece of technology that came out, I think about September, it was announced last year, and it is equipped for PS5 currently, and even Series X, but none of the games use it yet, because I don't think it's fully come to these platforms yet, and also it's not necessarily guaranteed how good those games are going to be. And this is FSR 3, frame generation. If those of you guys don't know what frame generation is, essentially what it is if you've got a game running at 60 FPS on PC right now, for example, I've got my 4090 next to me, what that does is it inserts an AI generated frame in between each frame, which doubles your frame rate. Literally, I can play Flight Simulator on my PC with my 4090 at 4K 120 FPS with no issues. Now, without that, I could absolutely not run that game. I could just about get it to 4K 60 with DLSS, but I could use frame generation and power it through to 4K 120. Now, the reason I talk about PS5 being so much better, even though FSR 3 is equipped for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, the reason PS5 Pro is going to be better is because it needs a decent base frame rate to then push from that place, essentially, to actually double the frame rate. As you can see here from this photo, 53 FPS average with an RX 7900 XTX. You can then boost that FPS up to 175 FPS on average, as you can see, using FSR 3 performance mode. Obviously, performance mode is going to look slightly worse, but still, using performance mode with the super resolution and this AI frame generation is significantly better with FPS. As you can see here again, various different stuff they're talking about. This is on PC cards, but this technology is available on the consoles. It's just not being utilized yet. And again, if you've got games that you can run at 4K with this 40 FPS mode we're hearing about, we're very close to this figure here where things can then be boosted up to higher frame rates. So we could start seeing 4K 60 games, or upscaled to 4K. So our quality resolution mode, where we normally have 30 FPS or 40 in some cases, we could start seeing those frame rates get to 60, and then our 60 FPS current performance mode that we have, we could start seeing boosts up to 120 FPS, much like we are in this image here. Like, that is, it's a ridiculous piece of technology that is absolutely incredible. And you guys might think, oh, he's way overhyping this. I'm absolutely not. I've used it on my 4090, and yes, I know that's a beefy card, but I've had certain games running at the highest settings. For example, I can't think of the Alan Wake 2. I was only able to get like 40 to 50 FPS, but when I turn on frame generation, I can get it all the way up to like 90 to 120 FPS on a card that was running it at 40 to 50 FPS. It's insane. And yes, I know that's NVIDIA's version, but AMD FSR 3 is being worked on. It's being developed, as you can see from the slides. They have things working. And all these slides, by the way, were from September last year when they announced this. And they specifically said on stage, this technology absolutely works for the next or the current gen consoles, being PS5 Series X. So personally, for everybody who said, oh, the PS5 spec bump isn't actually that huge, yes, it is, because the reason they perhaps can't use this FSR 3 technology right now on current consoles, they will be able to with 60 FPS games, but to make a huge difference where the actual resolution is better is because they don't have anything running much above 40 FPS. Again, if we can get these quality mode games, so for example, Last of Us Part 2 that's recently come out, let's say they have their 30 FPS quality mode on PlayStation 5 right now. The PlayStation 5 Pro could perhaps run that 30 FPS mode at more like 50 to 60, but they wouldn't want to leave you with that 50 to 60 FPS. So what they could do is they could, I'm not saying for this exact game, but for future games, they could use this technology to get you above that 50 to 60 FPS, get you all the way to like 80, 90, 120 FPS with this technology. And there you go. You've got the same resolution as the quality mode, but because the console has that a little bit more power with the T-flops and also the CPU's a little bit better, it will get you to that higher frame rate mode, enabling this technology to be used. Now, obviously this is speculation and it's something that I hope is going to happen, but I think it's a big coincidence that AMD did go on stage and say that this technology is available in the current generation of consoles, and I just think I've heard everybody talk about this, and if you don't believe me, go and watch Digital Foundry's video on FSR 3. They even said it themselves. They do not think the current consoles, with the performance that they have, especially in the 30 FPS mode, that base frame rate of 30 FPS is not quite good enough to be able to boost it even above 60, because you need a good base resolution, as we saw from the slides. You need something like 50, 60 FPS, 40 just about, to push it up to maybe that 170 FPS that they were getting in the performance mode. They wouldn't want to do that ultra performance mode. They want to keep it at like quality perhaps and get just a 60 or 80 or 90 FPS, because there are many games like Spider-Man 2, Last of Us Part 1 remake, Last of Us Part 2 remake. Those run above 60 FPS if you have a 4K 120Hz TV. So this technology is incredible, and the PS5 Pro will push the quality mode into a place where it could actually be at 60 FPS already, and they could use this technology to boost it above. And that's why we perhaps hear Sony talk about 8K a little bit. They have 8K on the box of their PS5 currently. This is perhaps why, because you could use this technology to boost frame rates, boost resolutions. In fact, with my own PC over here, I've actually tested 8K. I only have a 4K TV, but I set it to output at 8K from the PC, and many games I could run with frame generation above 60 FPS. So obviously that's a 4090, but still, the point is, it's doable. It's very doable, and that frame generation is incredible. So I do suggest you go away, look it up, look at FSR 3, go to Digital Foundry's video where they talk about how the current consoles are not quite able to push that frame rate to a point where FSR 3 is really good, but the PS5 Pro absolutely will be. It just needs that little bit more power to get these quality modes to like 50 to 60 FPS, which the PS5 Pro should be able to do, hence having one in the first place, and then it can boost those frame rates with frame generation for the performance mode. It would be in a great place with that. It would be absolutely insane to have that. So that's it for this video. Let me know what your opinions are. This is why they're doing the PS5 Pro. I feel strongly this is going to be used, and I even feel strongly that the Series X, with the extra bit of power that it has over the base PS5, I do believe Phil Spencer and his team have already thought about this FSR, because even in the presentation where they talked about FSR, they actually only named dropped Xbox. They didn't name drop PS5. It is available on PS5. It has been confirmed, but they did name drop Xbox specifically. And I just wonder if they've already thought about this and they don't want to do a Pro model on the Xbox side. They've got that bit of extra power. Maybe it can squeeze out a couple more frames to actually get this already working on Series X. So Who knows? I'm excited to see what happens with this stuff because I do think it's going to be utilized. The PC space has adopted this so well. This technology is on both NVIDIA cards and now AMD cards, and it is being utilized well. So I look forward to seeing, especially with optimization with this FSR 3 stuff, consoles could see a huge performance increase with this stuff going forward. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye-bye for now, guys.